back, I had bought this chalkboard at a garage sale, and I painted it this blue-gray. It hung on the wall in the hallway for several years, but we never really used the chalkboard. So now that I've gotten into the glass art, I decided to take the chalkboard part out of it and replace it with a mirror and do some glass art. So basically, I just measured out the size of the actual chalkboard and cut out a mirror in the same size. And I did this in the same way that you would cut out stained glass. And like I've said before, I'm not an expert stained glass cutter, but I can cut some simple lines. And if you're interested in learning how to cut stained glass, I learned on YouTube. It's a great way to learn, and it's free. So anyway, after I cut out the piece of glass, I had to attach it to the back of the frame where the chalkboard used to sit. And I had been using ELMER'S glue, but this mirror was so heavy, I was thinking I needed to use something stronger. And I think I'm going to go back to the ELMER'S glue because I did end up with a little leak, even after I put this liquid nails all over it and put painter's tape all the way around the back to prevent any leaks. So anyway, this is what I used to hold it in there. So the adhesive serves two purposes: one, to hold the piece of glass in place, and two, to help prevent any resin leaks. So next I spend probably a couple hours a day just messing around with different glass and trying to figure out exactly what I want to put on it. So the glass that I'm using here is tumbled glass. It's glass that I picked up at garage sales and thrift stores, broken up and tumbled in my tumbler for up to 7 days. So I do not end up using the blue glass, but I do end up using the gold glass. And that gold glass is just gorgeous when you see it up close. It has a real shimmer to it. It's just beautiful. And the center of all of the flowers, I use jewelry. And the jewelry I also pick up at thrift stores and garage sales. I like to use jewelry in my glass art projects. I think it really adds something to it. Anyway, like I said, I mess around with this for several days, a couple hours a day, just trying to figure out exactly what I want. That blue glass is a vase that I broke up, and I actually shaped that glass, broke it a certain way so that they would look like petals. And I did put it in my tumbler, but I only put it in for 1 day, just enough to get the sharp edges off so that you wouldn't cut yourself. And you can see here I'm messing around with putting some crumbled glass on it and all sorts of different things. And then finally I decide on this configuration. So now that I know exactly where I want it, I need to clean up the glass. So I take everything off, put it where I think I'll remember it, how it was, clean up the glass, and then put everything back on. I also turn off the fan and I cover it so that I don't end up getting any more dust on it. So the long strands of green glass is VITRIGRAPH glass. It comes in like 1 foot pieces, and I ordered it on Etsy, and you can cut it with the nipper tool, or if it's thin enough in some places you can actually just snap it. But I thought this would look pretty if I put maybe one of them with each flower and then put some gold beads on there. So I'm just kind of finishing up, doing some finishing touches, and I'm not going to put the gold beads on until after I resin it, because if I put the gold beads on now and pour the resin on, the gold beads will just go everywhere. So it'll be easier for me to have something to stick the gold beads into. And now I'm ready for the resin. When I use resin, I wear gloves. I use a respirator. The resin I'm using for this project is art resin. It's a 1-to-1 ratio resin, 1 part resin to 1 part hardener. You mix them both in the same cup. It's clear when you first pour them in. As you start to mix it, you'll notice it becomes cloudy. You need to scrape the sides and the bottom as you're mixing to ensure thorough mixing. You need to mix it for about 3 minutes, and you'll notice as it comes closer to the 3 minutes, the mixture becomes clear again. And then you're ready to pour it on your project. When you pour it on your project, what I usually do is put it over the glass first, just so that I ensure that everything's covered, and then I go around the perimeter. I did end up mixing up a second batch of this resin because I was just short a little bit, and I had another little project that I wanted to do. I used the kitchen torch to get rid of some of the bubbles, and then I put the little gold beads on at the end of each of the little pieces of green VITRIGRAPH glass, and I think that looks really pretty like that. And I actually end up going back multiple times with the little torch to get rid of bubbles, and sometimes the torch doesn't seem to touch them, so I'll kind of mix them up with a spoon or a toothpick and then hit it with the torch again. When you're done, it needs to sit on a flat level surface at temperatures between 72 and 80 degrees Fahrenheit overnight. It takes about 24 hours to cure, and it's in your best interest to cover it with a dust cover. Hey everyone, I finished. So I really like the way it turned out, and it's so hard to see with the reflection from the mirror, but I'm going to try to put it in a little bit of an angle. Maybe you could see the flowers up close better. But I really like the way it turned out. I like it so much better than the chalkboard. And we never use, it's heavy. And we never use the chalkboard and for anything, and I always tell Alexa what to put on the grocery list, so that works out better for us. Anyway, I'm going to end up putting it back up in the same spot that I had it before. It's been sitting in the craft room for probably 6 months, ever since I made that sea glass mirror, because I put that in the place of this in the hallway there across from my craft room. But I'm going to end up putting this back up, and Lord knows what I'll do with the other mirror. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. So I was at garage sales last weekend, and I said I'm going to show you some stuff I got. So these are my finds. Look at this. This is probably, I don't know, a little over a foot tall. And look at this pretty yellow glass. And I don't know, this might be valuable. It has the honeycomb kind of pattern on it, and it's hand blown. There's the pontil at the bottom. But I was looking this up, and I saw something very similar to it on eBay for like $250. So I got this for $1 at a garage sale. Somebody, the guy said he had bought all the furniture and the contents when he bought the house, so he had enough of his own stuff, so he was selling everything, and that was sitting out there, and it caught my eye because it was such a bright yellow. You don't find, and this is, you know, this color is all the way through it. Not that I would tumble this because it's so thin, but if you were to cut this glass, the color's all the way through, which a lot of yellow glass isn't. So anyway, I'm gonna do a little bit of research on that, but that was $1. And then the other thing I found that I thought was kind of cool was I found this calendar, and it has, you know, it's filthy. I kind of wiped it off, but it has all the dates. It's brand new, but yet it's probably very old. And it has the months here that you take out. It's still encased in plastic, but I thought I could do something cool on the top here with some glass art before I hang it up. So that'll be another video. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoy. Those are my garage sale finds. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. It helps the channel. And if you want to be notified of future videos, subscribe. And I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks for watching.